The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Writer's Block Podcast NH. This is a podcast designed by writers for writers on the journey to being published. Joined Mandra, Miss Cornet.
It was so healthy and nutritious.
Deborah Monk.
Can we open each podcast with a dance number?
Shelly Devlin.
It was so full of inspiration and sparkles.
Every Tuesday morning live on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe to catch the podcast anytime on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, or your favorite podcast catcher. It's time to be inspired, feel empowered, and be well with the Writer's Block Podcast NH.
And welcome to the Writer's Block Podcast. I'm Mandra.
I'm Debbie.
And I'm Shelly.
Thank you for joining us, where our mission is to inspire, empower, and help people be well. We're streaming live. Well, we're not streaming live, but that's okay. You can still find us at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe on this Tuesday morning. And today's show is sort of our Valentine's Day gift to you. We are going to be talking about love, and because most books contain a love story, it's going to be pretty easy to connect the dots there. We each have chosen some different books related to love. We're going to talk about human relationships and all that good stuff on this Valentine's Day
This was
month.
a fun one to prepare for.
Yes. Very good. I'll get started.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so the book I have is called All About Us, and it is sort of a workbook, instructional, well, not instructional, but a workbook for couples, or I suppose you could do it on your own, but it'd be much more fun if you did it with a partner. And it's written by Philip Keel. And what you do is you go through and kind of fill it out. So, for example, there are things like 3 things that you like about your partner. Or 3 things you wish
Deb is rolling her eyes into the back of her head.
3 things you wish you never knew about your partner's previous life.
Ooh, see, now that's getting a little racy there.
Right?
Right?
How about...
No, Deb's still not.
I'm still
All right,
Deb's
Deb.
still not on board on
Deb,
this
you're going to
one.
like this one. There's a whole section on turn-ons and turn-offs. So it lists something, and then you have to check if it's a turn-on or turn-off, and your partner does the same. And then you can kind of compare. So what's hilarious is that this particular copy is Shelly's.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Some of it is filled in.
It is.
Right?
It is.
So you did this with Josh.
With Josh. And you know what's funny is we did that probably like 6 years ago. Because, you know, it's... You sit down and have coffee in the morning. We're like snuggled up on the couch. And I'm like, let's get our little workbook. And he rolls his eyes into the back of his head like Deb did. And then he, you know, just gives up and says, okay.
Now, how long had you been together at that point?
A year.
Right. See, this
This
is
is
the
new
type
love
of thing.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No,
So
no,
what-
for
but
me
what-
it wasn't. For
You would probably
me
still do
it
it.
was, I would still do it.
Yeah, you would.
I would still do it. And
Yeah.
we will still do it now that I've pulled this book out and dusted it off.
Yes,
Josh
because
I'll
is
make
so
him
happy.
do it
It's
because
not
there's a lot
complete.
of it that's not filled in.
Right.
That's why I can't hear
Now
you.
we did laugh too when we reread that, when I pulled it out for this episode and we reread some of the answers that we had. We were giggling about that as well too.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of fun.
It is kind of fun.
Makes
but-
you connect.
Would you and Brad do it?
No.
No, oh, okay. Because I did not see. I could see her getting up and saying, "Come on, Josh, let's do this," and then Josh going, "I can't see you saying that to Brad, and I can't see Brad saying yes."
Yeah, no.
No?
No.
No?
No.
Maybe we should have to, because me and
Right.
Jonathan wouldn't do that either.
Maybe we will force you to do a few pages in the book.
Do you think it helps, or do you think that the couples who are doing it, like they're already caught in that new love, and they're already getting along? To me, this isn't going to work then.
Well,
Meaning
some
they're
of it
already-
is like it could open up cans of worms, I felt like. You know, if you met your partner soon after a breakup, did you think of yourself as being on the rebound? Yes or no?
Yeah, right. Because somebody's feelings could be really hurt if you're like, yeah, I never got it. Yeah,
Very true.
You were never a keeper, buddy. You were just a you were just a right there, right then moment.
And if
somehow
yes,
you got stuck.
What made you continue the relationship? Like, that could be bad.
You could definitely have some pitfalls in there. Hence why that page is not filled in, is it?
Yes, I noticed that is
not filled in.
And just kind of being, with the social work background, I kind of thought, if you don't do this with a therapist right there, this could blow shit up all over the place in a relationship. A couple of the turn-offs. Let's see what you guys have. Where was
the one thing to notice, every single one of their questions matches up. The same things turn them on and the same things turn them off.
Right, so like talk shows, both a turn off. Leather, both a turn on.
See, I want to put things like communication.
Yeah.
Jonathan would say it's a turn on and I would say it's a turn off. And I would say
I'm sure that there are other books out there that are the same.
For people who've been together a long time?
No, the same structure. Well, maybe there is. Maybe you need to write that one, Deb. You need to write that one. The workbook for already dead, done, and nothing happening.
I don't know that I'd go that far.
This is a
love show.
This is a love
plus,
show.
Love show.
Plus, we get to go to my part after.
Yes.
We get to do my story.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything. Oh, sex and company. There we go. That would be in it. That is
and
not
company.
filled
You
in.
have sex while you have company at the house.
Wait a minute.
No wonder I've never been invited to your house.
Like, can you imagine doing that?
Okay, what's the question?
Do you sometimes fantasize about having sex with someone else while having sex with your partner? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me that you're
Hence
gonna
why
do
that is not filled in.
But I can't even believe that a couple would go through and do this.
You don't.
Well,
you don't
just
know anybody.
Oh, please.
Outside your
we
circle.
know in this.
You.
Remember our.
Well, no, not me. Meaning that I would do that. Meaning you don't know anybody that actually does that.
How does this answer make you feel? No, they probably do. But are you going to sit with your partner and have this kind of come to Jesus time without a mediator?
No.
Jonathan and I would probably both say yes, and we'd both say Hugh Jackman. The only thing is, he
is awesome. Our producer had just choked on the cigar over there. Just choked on the cigar. That is awesome. That is awesome.
Because he knows Jonathan.
We got a serious reaction out of it.
So apparently love can go pretty sarcastic right there, right?
Yes.
So maybe it is a workbook for newlyweds and you're going to give it to them as like a little gift for their shower.
For their shower?
For their bridal shower.
Bridal shower.
Oh, I thought you meant corner them while they're in the shower. And
Oh my God.
There's probably shower
She imagined
questions
a shower.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that one.
Jonathan, answer this question. You're not getting out. I'm turning the cold on.
How about this one? Have you consulted a psychic because of your current relationship?
I actually know somebody that did that.
I was just going to say, why do you have one?
Which in turn is in
your book.
No. Oh. Well, not written yet, but
what?
Yeah.
What happened? They broke up because of the psychic.
They didn't, but it didn't add any good stuff to their relationship at all.
Jeez.
But we should also say that just because we are giving Shelly kind of a hard time, how long have you been together now with Josh?
7 years.
Oh, look and she still has a glow about him.
Oh, I definitely do.
Oh, she loves love.
She does love
She
love.
loves love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always said that I wasn't going to be that person. Like when you go to a house party, Mandra, I hope this isn't going to happen at your house party.
Oh, yeah, coming up.
Or, when we get together there, is that the women are out on the back deck bitching about the men, and the men are sitting in front of the TV watching the ball game.
I much prefer to bitch in front of him. It's the only time he listens if other people are there.
And like, why the hell are you in a relationship then?
I'm totally kidding.
As the man here, I want to say, while we're watching the game, on commercials, we bitch about the women.
Right?
Really?
Just on commercials. You can't
so it's like, 30 a minute.
Right.
blurs.
And even if you're mid-sentence, you got to shut that off when the game comes back on.
Right.
Unless it's
There
the
are
Super Bowl, then
priorities.
you need to watch the commercials as well.
Yeah,
So
but
then the women are watching the
Then the women are in there
commercials.
watching the
Right.
commercials. So everybody
you
has to
can't
shut
talk
up, and
about it
everyone's
anyway.
like
That's
this ball of stress.
That's
they can't
true.
bitch about it.
Right. That's what the pressure
Wow,
is.
so happy Valentine's Day.
I think we need to move on.
And how long have you two been married?
Oh.
19 years.
19
Really?
years, Deb?
Yeah, and I never did a book like this, so there you go.
Maybe we need to. We never know.
You never know.
We forget.
You don't even know how many years
We
you've been
forget.
married.
Yeah, we forget.
Really?
Well, ish.
I think. What?
Did you hit
13?
10?
Yeah, we're
okay.
past.
So you passed
10.
10.
I've been married.
Listen, I was past 10 once.
I know, but I think you weren't. I don't think you loved love as much then.
No.
You didn't love being in love then.
Well, no, I loved being in love. I wasn't in love.
Right. Or else it would still be going on.
Right. That's the key.
That's the key.
What's the
Being
key?
in love.
Be in love.
You have to be in love.
All right, can we go to my book?
Yes, please. Let's go to Deb's book.
Okay.
Deb,
what is this all about?
Well, this is
what
what
is this all about?
you guys, we talked about, how love plays in books, and I confessed that my very first novel that I completed was a romance novel. And it's called Gypsy's Fortune. So I went and pulled it out because I remembered the very first line, and I realized, okay, this is why I can't write romance, because this is how I start my romance. Gypsy's Fortune. Widowhood is so much more respectable, Destiny thought as she loaded the gun. Dragging a chair across the planks of the floor, unmindful of the bouncing racket of wood on wood, Destiny sat down across from the cabin door. She adjusted her full gypsy skirt over her bare feet and balanced the heavy rifle across her lap. Reaching up and pulling hairpin after hairpin from her hair, Destiny threw the dreaded things across the room. She viciously tugged at that hated bun, freeing her thick hair, and she rubbed her fingers over her sore scalp. She sighed with relief as the riotous curls surrounded her head in a bright halo. Feeling much better, she settled down to wait for him. Her fingers caressed the smooth wood of the gun. She grinned as she imagined him finding her looking like a wild banshee with the gun aimed at his midsection. She didn't want him to have any confusion about which particular part of his anatomy she intended to remove. Her eyes were bright and she licked her lips in greedy anticipation of her poetic revenge. He'd look for her and he would eventually think of the cabin. He would find her, remembering a time when she'd been innocent and believed in their love. She swiped at her tears, desperate for her anger to overcome the hurt. Hearing a horse approach, Destiny leapt out of her chair and settled the stock of the gun against her shoulder. Pulling the lace curtains aside, she peered out the window and groaned when she saw Rock topple from his horse. She heard him swear as he tried to untangle himself from the reins. As the stallion nickered and sidestepped away, Destiny sympathized with his relief at being free of the drunken rider. She saw Rock swipe at the hair that fell across into his eyes. Determined, Destiny turned away from the window and went back to her seat. She felt the floor shake as Rock climbed the rickety steps, stumbling up two and falling down one, all the while bellowing, "Where the hell are you, woman? You in there?" He kept muttering, "You better be after I climb these stairs for you." Like he climbed a mountain, she thought. My hero. She knew the men from his ranch had taken him into town and gotten him drunk to celebrate their wedding before. He yelled again as words slurred. "Woman, when I find you!" Shouting triumphantly, the door slammed against the wall as he surged in. He froze as he came face to face with the barrel of her gun. All he could see in his condition was the hollow snout of the gun and the steely gaze of one eye as she took aim.
And that's a romance novel?
Yes.
Does someone eventually get naked?
No, she stopped writing right there.
And wait,
That's the
this was
prologue.
rejected as a romance novel?
I'm surprised.
Wait, you
never
know
said
that
it was
there's
re-
a country
I never said
song
it-
called Gunpowder and Lead that is your story right there.
And I
Right?
never said
Yep.
it was rejected.
Oh.
It may be out, and I just haven't confessed. I don't.
All I have to say is Destiny
And Rock.
and Rock.
I know.
Really?
That just
Destiny
goes to show.
and Rock.
I know.
Yeah, I think just put that away.
I know. You can see I am not meant to be a romance writer.
OMG.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
When did you write that?
I think before Sophie was born, so probably 25, 28 years ago. Basically when I was still young and doughy-eyed with love.
That's love.
And that's what came-
again,
and that's what
again,
came
let me,
out of you.
Let me ask again. That's love.
Yes.
They just got married. This is just the day after
The
their
day
wedding?
before?
Yeah,
the
exactly.
day
And then
after?
that's the prologue, and then it cuts
Yeah.
back to 3 months earlier.
Oh, okay. Then
Oh,
you
yeah.
take us back.
Oh, yeah.
So we get to go through the whole courting ritual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been great.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Actually, and it ends towards the end. There's an Indian reservation ground that she is kept. She's kind of locked into a cage, into a cage. I mean, I know they don't have cages then, but they put sticks up across the front of the cave, so she can't get out. And so he has to choose to save her or to save their baby. So and because she is on this desecrated land, and so the Indians are going to come and torture her, and he knows that, so he's digging, trying to get her out, and she's begging him to leave her there and to go save their baby.
So he's like Sophie. He's got a choice to
Sophie's,
make.
yeah, exactly. Yes, and if he loves her, he'll go save the baby.
Right.
That's the last thing I remember. I don't remember what happens after that. Anywho.
What time period is this? When did you set this?
Back when the The
Wild
train
West
was,
type of thing.
totally Wild West. The train was just coming across the plains.
They're building the railroad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh my.
Anyway, so that's my
my.
version of love.
Good God. All right. Well,
My favorite part of that, though, is this. Widowhood. Widowhood is so much more respectable.
Destiny thought as she loaded the gun.
Yeah, I love that line. I do like that line.
Me too.
Save
All
us,
right.
Shelly.
Well, guns
Save
and
us.
Valentine's
Yes.
Day. Now this is definitely for
Oh my gosh,
definitely
look at
for
that book.
Deb,
I
right?
know.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a book called Bad Boy.
Yeah.
And there's
So this is the difference between we talked about book covers, in our podcast before, and this is the difference between a sketch and a photograph.
But you know what you're getting.
You definitely know what you're getting.
Yeah, you're getting
sure.
Ed. You
Ed.
self-tanned.
My God, when did you pose for this front cover?
And a tattoo and everything.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
a bad boy would have a tattoo.
A bad boy would have a tattoo, so that already led us to believe.
so what we're seeing
You
is
know.
sort of like from the
from that.
not even neck really. Like
I mean, it's that his finger is
Midsection.
like, his thumb is
In
hooked
the
into his
jeans.
jeans,
Yeah.
pulling on that V spot.
Yep.
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 You can see the band of his
Tanned up, little sweaty.
boxer shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Light,
Yeah.
nice lighting.
Already the cover's working for you, right?
Not really.
Well,
Wow.
It's
I
already
get to
more-
see that every day.
It's already more of a when.
Okay, so Deb.
I mean, Jonathan.
This
you know,
is definitely poor Jonathan.
Does Jonathan have a tattoo?
he looks
there?
pretty. No, but he looks good.
Oh my
He
God.
does have a tattoo, but not there.
So Deb, my husband would say that a woman's body is like a diesel engine. Takes a long time to warm it up. So on our Valentine's Day episode,
I think I saw that in the workbook somewhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. I wanted to leave you with a couple of pages of the bad boy. So when you are the diesel engine and it's Valentine's Day and you've been married for 13-ish, 19-ish, and apparently you're still not in the newlywed stage that I am. But,
Yeah, but
I'm also at beginning menopause, so that brings a whole other bag of issues to the diesel engine.
Several diesel engines.
Yeah.
Several diesel engines.
Jonathan and I are too lazy. There's no diesel engines allowed.
Well, the thing is that you can be lazy, right? So you're going to start with picking up the book. You're going to throw on some fishnets. You don't need to shave because the fishnets are a distraction completely.
Jonathan says they itch him when he
itch
wears
him?
them.
Oh. That is awesome. That is awesome. I can't even. I don't even have anything to back that up right now.
What's Brad's opinion?
Oh my God. Welcome to Valentine's
I'll have to
Day.
check. I'll have to see.
If anybody hasn't seen Jonathan, now my vision is ruined forever. Jonathan in fishnets.
Looking like that on the cover.
Looking like this on the cover. All right, so listen.
Okay.
Deb, don't be sarcastic. Tell me if this does anything, right?
Okay, read.
Read?
We'll
Are
be
you ready?
quiet. We'll be quiet.
You be quiet?
Yes.
Okay. The stranger looked Latino. He had a dusky complexion and high, sharp cheekbones. A thin scar ran down his left cheek from his temple to his jaw. It's a knife scar, a tiny voice inside her brain whispered. His black hair was combed straight back from his forehead, and he had a 5 o'clock shadow that made him look disreputable and a little dangerous. Great, a bad boy, just my type. While Leah's brain screamed and her body was twitching with approval. After all, it had been 300 days, and he looked so damn sexy. Although she had difficulty judging his height from her position, he appeared to be as tall as Zeke, and that would make him about 6'2". A black t-shirt, dark jeans emphasized his broad pecs, his tight stomach, his narrow hips. Tattoos decorated the muscles on both of his arms. Mr. Sex on a Stick stared at her, his gaze intense, penetrating, and hungry. The breath that she had been holding ever since first seeing him whooshed out in a soft exhalation. Hold it together, girl. Don't drool right in front of him. Embarrassed by her thoughts, she glanced at Sandy's husband. Zeke frowned, not pleased with her sudden appearance. Leah, this is Quinn. Leah moved closer. Hi, I'm Lee. The stranger interrupted. You write the column for Heat. Your picture runs all over it. His voice was dark and husky, and he didn't seem to be trying to match her face with the headshot from the EZ magazine. His gaze roamed up and down her body, and he didn't appear to care that she knew it. Leah felt warm blood from her cheeks, and she refused to look away. Instead, she challenged him, staring boldly at the bulge in the juncture between his legs. I'm so glad to hear that you read Heat, she said. I hope you enjoy it. All right, you guys are about ready to bust out into some giggles here. See? Now listen.
My favorite part was Mr. Sex on the Stick.
Right?
I mean, that was...
Right?
That's
was a
brilliant
great visual.
writing.
Brilliant writing, right? Deb's being speechless.
I'm going to be quiet.
You're gonna,
Don't be quiet.
Don't be quiet.
No. Speak.
Why
We don't have a lot of time, so I want to hear what you have to say.
What do you have to say?
I don't think that would do it for me.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me either. Does it do it for you?
It does, because you know why? It shuts my brain off from everything else. So I have to read like deep fantasy in order to shut my brain off, because I'm thinking about all the other things in life that need to get done.
I think for Deb, there was just an implied weapon, and her romance involves actual weapons, right? So
That could be. That could be.
Yeah.
I mean, so if I read a passage about like, you know, tied up in chains.
Okay.
Oh, something just moved on Deb.
It's just an eyebrow. Mandra.
Deb needs a racier.
She needs it raised. Well, listen, I'm not going to lie. I had a hard time finding a passage that didn't have a
That was
word that started with
appropriate.
F, P,
Yeah.
all the P words, the C words, all of them are in here.
And a lot, and you know, I mean, and I'm not, Mandra.
Well, it's Valentine's
Why
Day.
do we keep going to Mandra?
So then, do we end with what is your perfect Valentine's Day then?
Yes, Shell.
What is your perfect Valentine's Day?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
No? You just want to ban Valentine's Day or anti-Valentine's Day altogether?
I don't think we do Valentine's Day. I don't think we do anniversaries either, which is why I can't
you
tell you
can't
how long we've been
remember.
married. He doesn't remember very well either, but he remembers better than I do.
Yeah.
What's your perfect Valentine?
Well, it's definitely not like the flowers and the cards, because I think that's just like
Right.
a,
It's lazy.
You know, it's an overrated, expensive, ridiculous day. I don't
Right.
want to go out to dinner because the restaurants don't have
Crowded.
the best quality because they're all crowded and rushing you in and out.
True.
You know, I'd love just the stay at home, do a few pages in my workbook. No,
a little
you guys
all
will.
about us.
No,
you
a
might.
walk
Yeah,
on the
but that's
beach.
what
You know,
Yeah.
spending time with each other. It doesn't have to be about the material,
All right.
the
If-
flowers and the everything else.
If we're on the beach, I want him to chase me and throw me in.
Okay, see,
catch
there's
me.
there needs to be a little.
Yeah.
In February.
Shades-
That's
All right.
what you're looking for
Even then, yeah.
Should do it.
All right, you have to give something for Valentine's
I want
Day.
a little getaway.
You want a
wanna
little
get away?
Yeah, I want
getaway.
a little getaway.
What are you doing on the
A
getaway?
Snowy Inn.
Okay.
In Vermont.
You staying in your pajamas for the weekend? Oh, maybe you'll be naked.
I'm always in my pajamas.
Well, I know that. That's why I said it.
Change it up.
I thought maybe you'd change it up for Valentine's Day.
Not shave my legs and put fishnets on. How about that?
There you go. I like it.
Well,
Oh, well, whatever you're doing for your Valentine's Day.
yes, we hope it enjoys a good book
Yes.
We hope it
and
involves
whatever else you like.
Yes, and a little romance in your life. So thank you for listening to the Studio, and thank you to the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. If you'd like to hear this episode again or share it with a friend, head to the UnitedPodcastNetwork.tv. That's UnitedPodcastNetwork.tv. You can find this podcast and the vodcast in case you'd like to listen to it again or give it to a friend. Find this and all our previous episodes on United Podcast Network TV. May you be inspired, feel empowered, and be well. Attention cigar smokers or even friends of a cigar smoker. If you're looking to relax with a nice premium cigar or looking for a great gift for a cigar smoker, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Our friends at twoguyscigars.com have created the Cigar of the Month Club. For just $19.99 per month, you or a friend will receive 4 different premium handmade cigars every month, and shipping and handling is included.
Contact twoguyscigars.com. That's the number 2, guyscigars.com, and go to the Cigar of the Month Club. You can stop anytime because there's no contract, but you won't. This is a tremendous deal for our listeners. Go to twoguyscigars.com. That's the number 2, guyscigars.com, and click the Cigar of the Month Club.
At the same time, if you want to learn more about the cigars you receive each month, you can smoke along with them on our own podcast called The Cigar Authority. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a nice premium cigar from our friends at twoguyscigars.com.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21, Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.